If those fellas out there are looking for somebody to kind of toss into space to find out if there's viable life that goes beyond our very own, I'm available. I'm available.
Purple in the sky.
All right, so welcome to yet another session, and today we're not in the streets. You know, we're done with the streets, so I'm pretty sure we should even change the name of this whole thing we're doing. It's not street science hope heads anymore. I think we should call it some. What do you think, man? We should call it something else. No, we'll brainstorm, but it's no longer in the street. I mean, we can't beat the wind.
Just call it I'm available.
Okay, no, we're done with I'm available. So today, I just wanna. So we're getting back to Richard Dawkins, and like I said, the objective is pretty simple: to get people to read the books that matter. I wanted to talk about possible worlds, you know. And before I say that, I just want to say that I love speculating. For small talk, I think speculation is my personal preference. So one thing of great importance to note before I get into the topic is the issue of the possibility of life somewhere else beyond our planet is a topic that would change a lot of things. Suppose we did find intelligent life somewhere else, or not necessarily intelligent life, but even microorganisms that have DNA. You know, it would be like it would switch the game about a lot of things. That's why there's a lot of like exploration that's going into exploring the planet Mars, because of its likelihood and how it looks so much like our own planet, and how back in the days it had oceans and the possibility of water there. You can see it from the grandest canyons. So they have some kind of like a possibility that there could have been running water there. So people are speculating, trying to find something in the hot ground and crust of that planet, that red hot. I think if we did find life somewhere else, I think it would change a lot of things. It would break spirits, lift spirits, change our belief structures. It would just be a game changer for a lot of things, you know, because it would kind of switch up the thing and make us realize that we are actually not alone in the cosmos or in the universe. There is actually something else that goes beyond, and then it will raise more questions, but more speculation. Like, if there's like viable life somewhere else, then what next? So those are like serious questions. And if they did find life there, I'll be excited. I'll be like, I'm ready for everything. You know, I'm ready to see how it would be. You know, I'm just ready to see people's jaws drop, and it would be like, I told you so. No, I just like to rub it in people's faces. Nah, I told you. You know, but because people don't think there's like a possibility of life out there. But then, to start this off, the same chapter I read last time, Origins of Miracles, I want to first read you something before I read you the paragraphs I want to read you. Here Dawkins says something like, given infinite time or infinite opportunities, anything is possible. And doesn't our universe give us infinite time and infinite opportunity for us to like speculate about the possibility of life somewhere else? Well, I want you to hear this from Dawkins himself, like nicely explain it. So I'm gonna read you like a number of paragraphs. Stay in there. So Dawkins says, in a continuation from something he's already explained, don't expect me to connect everything. He says, now here's a fascinating thought. The answer to our question of how much luck we are allowed to postulate depends upon whether our planet is the only one that has life, or whether life abounds all around the universe. The one thing we know for certain is that life has arisen once, here on this very planet. But we have no idea at all whether there is life anywhere else in the universe. It is entirely possible that there isn't. Some people have calculated that there must be life elsewhere. On the phone, point out the fallacy until afterwards. There are probably at least 10 to the power 20, that is 100 billion, roughly suitable planets in the universe. We know that life has arisen here, so it can't be all that improbable. Therefore, it is almost inescapable that at least some among all those billions of other planets has life. However, the flaw in the argument lies in the inference that because life has arisen here, it can't be too terribly improbable. You will notice that This inference contains the built-in assumption that whatever went on Earth is likely to have gone on elsewhere in the universe. And this begs the whole question. In other words, that kind of statistical argument that there must be life elsewhere in the universe because there is life here builds in an assumption, what it is setting out to prove. This doesn't mean that the conclusion that life exists all around the universe is necessarily wrong. My guess is that it is probably right. It simply means that that particular argument that led up to it is no argument at all. It's an assumption. That's why I said speculation about whether there's the possibility of life out there. But anyway, let me continue. Let us, for the sake of discussion, entertain the alternative assumption that life has arisen only once, ever, and that was here on our planet. It is tempting to object to this assumption on the following emotional grounds. Isn't there something terribly medieval about it? Doesn't it recall the time when the church taught that our earth was the center of the universe and the stars just little pinpricks of light set in the sky for our delight? Or even more absurdly presumptuous, that the stars go out of their way to exert astrological influences on our little lives. You know, that stuff there. Gemini, Leo, Scorpion, please. How very considered to assume that out of the billions of planets in the universe, our own little backwater of a world, in our own local backwater of a solar system, in our own local backwater of a galaxy, should have been singled out for life? Why, for goodness sake, should it have been our planet? I'm genuinely sorry, for I am heartily thankful that we have escaped from the small-mindedness of the medieval church, and I despise modern astrologers, but I'm afraid that the rhetoric about backwaters in the previous paragraph is just an empty rhetoric. It is entirely possible that our backwater of a planet is literally the only one that has ever borne life. The point is that if there were only one planet that had ever borne life, then it would have to be our planet, for the very good reason that we are discussing the question. Duh! We have to be here first to even ask such a question. If the origin of life is such an improbable event that it happened on only one planet in the universe, then our planet has to be that planet. So we can't use the fact that Earth has life to conclude that life must be probable enough to have arisen on another planet. Such an argument would be secular. We have to have some independent arguments about how easy or difficult it is for life to originate on a planet before we can even begin to answer the question of how many other planets in the universe have life. Or here, it is obviously clear what Dawkins is trying to put across, and I don't think I should add anything to it lest I spoil the message. But the question of the possibility of life somewhere else is something that is so awesome to speculate about. I mean, no one gets hurt. It's just that some people get touchy with this type of conversation. But this is a very important conversation, because if we did find life somewhere else, that would just be the end of a lot of things. Hopes will be broken, dreams shattered, hearts ripped apart. Jaws dropped.
That's interesting.
Imagine if we just some other intelligent civilization out there beyond our Milky Way galaxy.
Far much better than us.
Yeah, far much better than us. Just sent us an intelligent message, or just sent us photos or footage or something, or just communicated with us. That would just be the end of everything. What would you think? What would you personally think?
Okay. What if let's say you die, then you so happen to incarnate in another Earth?
When it comes to death, nobody knows with absolute certainty like what it is that really happens.
What about those guys that died and came back?
You know the problem with
That's if they died at all.
You know the problem with such situations, they are too subjective.
Yeah.
Chances are that they died for real and came back to life. But who knows for a fact? Because they are subjective to you who experienced them. So it's not something that's actually convincing enough to get us to believe that you saw something. Evidence just works for you, you know what I mean?
For them.
It just works for them. So it's not really strong enough evidence. I died, then I came back to life. And the thing they tell you they saw is stuff that is related to their beliefs.
Precisely.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they'll tell you they saw heaven. I'm like, guys, where did you see?
The other guy visited hell.
Yeah, the other guy visited. I'm my guy. I think it would be a game changer, and it would be nice if we actually lived long enough to get to see what we find out there. I mean, our universe is just
It's quite vast.
It's quite vast.
Yeah.
But one worrying thing as we just close off is the fact that the universe is expanding and everything in it is equally expanding, is leading to the speculation that we might head towards a heat death. I know most people have heard about it. A lot of you have obviously even heard about the possibility of a heat death. Actually, in intelligence circles and in the scientific fraternity, it's actually beyond argument that that's what we're headed for, where everything will just be cold. Yeah, it's ironic they call it a heat death, but it's more like a cold death. Dies off just like that, you know what I mean? Or our own galaxy kind of like crashes into, say for example, Andromeda, and then everything explodes. And then the religious people will probably say, it's the end of the world, you know, it's like the world has ended. And then the atheist will say, I knew it was gonna happen because ABCD has happened, we've crashed. So at that point, like, who is gonna be ultimately right? You know, who's gonna like say, no, my story was right? Because you would have all died and there's no one else to prove like whether it's true or not. Like suppose you had all died, and so for example the guy that believed otherwise happened to be right, that no, it's just science that happened and galaxies crashed and then everything boom came to a stop. And then you don't know, you can't prove who's right because you're all unconscious, you're just gone, you're all
no one knows.
Yeah, no one knows. It's like a fairground.
Everything like equalizes eventually.
Just boom, you cease to exist. You're gone, just like that. And I don't know if the universe will kind of play its own magic again, and then there'll be other intelligent life that evolves and comes back to normal and starts asking the same questions, but who knows? That's why speculation is nice. We're just speculating. I mean, we can't prove this stuff. Yeah, that's why I said at the outset that speculation doesn't hurt. You can speculate the whole day. It's the best small talk you can ever do. Speculating about what can happen. Yeah. So I doubt if there's anybody. I haven't heard any latest updates, but I doubt if there's any human yet on Mars. They were even saying no, the guy that can likely go to Mars is obviously in baby class, in nursery school. But if they want to try it now, I'm available.
So am I. In the background. I'm available.
Only they can see you dance. In fact, we should swap so that they see you do your.
Sorry, my guy, it's only you and you.